The next day brought the news that the vehicle, a black BMW X5, which he had been driving on the day of his disappearance, had been found abandoned on the edge of a bog, some 30 miles away from Oakwood Cafe. All three of his Apple XS Max cell phones were lying in the car. The police had started scrutinizing his call details and his cell tower locations immediately. A separate team had been formed to check the combined CCTV footage of hundreds of cameras installed in dozens of localities of the city. By the evening of the 6th of March, that is yesterday, the police had discovered nothing significant. It had developed no leads. This wasn't something that the authorities, who were under immense pressure to solve the case, had made public. We learned it from our crestfallen employer, who had several friends in high places. According to these sources, Rat's call log looked completely unsuspicious to the police. On the evening of his disappearance, after leaving the cafe, he had talked briefly with his separated wife, who lived in New York City with Rat's 2 boys. He had then called a landline number in Mount Abu, where his widowed mother pursued true enlightenment at an ashram. His next and last call had been received from his American estate management firm, based out of the Silicon Valley. Rat's departed father had hit it big in the e-commerce industry before the turn of the century. He had been smart enough to sell his startups and make his exit with mountains of dollars before the bubble burst. Rat's father had prudentially invested his profits in office space towers in the major IT hubs of the US and India. This had made Rat, his father's only heir, immensely wealthy from astronomical rental incomes that poured into his bank accounts, without his having to work even for a minute. There had been no other calls. The cell tower locations offered no new insights, as all three of his phones had been switched off several hours ago. The collage of CCTV footage, painstakingly put together from the feeds of hundreds of cameras, showed his X5 driving down this road and that at a steady speed. The premium electric curtains had been up on all 4 windows as well as the rear windshield. The front windshield was tinted a dark black, in spite of all the traffic rules dictating that films with that kind of light obstruction density be removed from all vehicles. I am sure all of you see several such blackened, rape-friendly windows in your own cities every day. So, even the cameras with the highest resolutions couldn't show anything from the interior of the BMW's cabin. The SUV sedately drove out of the last camera's frame at around 7:57 p.m. It headed in the direction of the waterlogged forest land, where it was later found, the front end dismally sunk in a marsh up to its bumper. There was no note of any kind left anywhere. No declaration of suicide, no demand of ransom, no sign of any struggle. No eyewitness claiming to have seen or heard anything suspicious. Where did he go? What could have happened to him? Will he never come back? He seemed to have everything. Why would he take his own life? These questions are being repeated like holy mantras everywhere in the town, but most of all in the Oakwood Cafe, whose balance sheets are going to look much less attractive to potential lenders if the rat doesn't come back into the world of the living. We, the Oakwood girls, have become accustomed to luxuries which can no longer be supported without the rat's crazy tips. Where has he gone?